The massive fist of HATCHIYACK moves with mechanical velocity, cutting through the dark atmosphere of the core chamber to strike directly at the defensive guard of Vegeta. The Saiyan Prince meets the physical assault with crossed forearms, the sheer kinetic impact generating a sharp shockwave that rattles the metallic floor plates beneath them. Watching from a flanking position, Goku shifts his stance to analyze the machine's initial offensive patterns, noting the complete absence of standard biological fluctuations. From the elevated control platform, Dr. Lychee cackles as the supercomputer registers the successful engagement of their primary target. Vegeta repels the giant mechanical hand with an explosive flare of his divine aura, immediately pivoting to deliver a rapid succession of counterstrikes against the machine's torso. Each concentrated blow echoes like a thunderclap through the hollowed-out asteroid, yet HATCHIYACK absorbs the physical trauma without displaying any signs of structural degradation. The android's central gemstone pulses with an intense crimson light, absorbing the kinetic energy of the assault and converting it into a dense defensive barrier. It remains perfectly stationary, its internal processors adjusting to the aggressive rhythm of the prince's combat style. Observing the defensive resilience of the machine, Goku decides to join the fray and instantly powers up into Super Saiyan Blue, his brilliant aura illuminating the dark corners of the stronghold. He launches himself forward, executing a sweeping kick aimed at the machine's head, while HATCHIYACK remains focused on deflecting the continuous punches of Vegeta. The combined pressure of the two divine Saiyans forces the massive android to give ground, its heavy metallic boots skidding backward across the plasma-slicked floor plates. Dr. Lychee manipulates the glowing holographic controls with frantic precision, overriding the safety limitations to feed more negative energy into the machine's primary core. He commands HATCHIYACK to deploy the specialized counter-tactics derived from the biological data scans of the younger Saiyans. The massive machine complies instantly, its red lens flashing as it projects an intense sonic frequency that disrupts the equilibrium of both Goku and Vegeta. The divine aura around the two warriors flickers violently as the unnatural frequency targets their specific physiological structures. Simultaneously on Earth, the ambient energy grid within the Capsule Corporation underground bunker experiences a secondary wave of electromagnetic static, drawing the immediate attention of Gohan. He looks over the shoulder of Bulma as her portable tracking terminal displays erratic spikes matching the distant cosmic conflict. Pan stands nearby, her expression filled with quiet focus as she notes that the cold pull on her father's energy has shifted into a rapid, rhythmic vibration. Gohan explains that the cosmic battle has clearly intensified, indicating that his father and the others have engaged the source of the anomaly. Goten and Trunks arrive at the entrance of the underground shelter, their expressions serious as they report the complete cessation of the northern rifts. Trunks informs Gohan that the upper atmosphere over Western City is beginning to stabilize, though a faint mechanical echo still lingers within the local clouds. Bulma directs the teenagers toward an auxiliary diagnostic terminal, instructing them to help her calibrate the global satellite network to maintain a steady link with the divine realm. She notes that the data flow from the cosmos is becoming increasingly fragmented due to the negative energy field. High above the city, Piccolo stands at the edge of the lookout, his acute hearing capturing the distant mechanical hum fading from the terrestrial sky. He turns to Dende, who is currently resting against the temple pillars while recovering his magical reserves under the protection of the divine barrier. Piccolo states that the immediate threat to the planet's atmosphere has subsided, but the core conflict is far from over. He advises the young Guardian to remain vigilant, as any sudden surge in the extragalactic battle could cause the dimensional fractures to reopen without warning. Dende nods slowly, using his planetary awareness to ensure that the terrestrial ley lines are integrating smoothly after the severe spatial trauma. He explains to Piccolo that the negative energy grid is currently retreating toward its cosmic point of origin, relieving the pressure on the global environment. He notes that the planet's life force is beginning to heal the remaining atmospheric tiers, though the structural scars will require continuous monitoring. Both Namekians maintain their defensive postures, keeping their senses attuned to the deep void above. Back within the dark asteroid core, HATCHIYACK capitalizes on the sonic disruption to launch a devastating dual energy blast from its chest port. The concentrated crimson waves strike Vegeta and Goku simultaneously, propelling them across the wide chamber into the reinforced metallic walls. Vegeta grunts in frustration as the impact dents his defensive perimeter, the corrosive nature of the Tuffle energy causing sharp burns across his arms. Goku recovers quickly, utilizing his flight capabilities to stabilize his position before the machine can press its advantage. Goku darts through the lingering smoke, attempting to locate a blind spot within the automated defense matrix of HATCHIYACK. He fires a rapid succession of precise ki blasts aimed at the machine's sensory lenses, but the android maneuvers with calculation, deflecting each projectile with its heavy forearms. From his secure platform, Dr. Lychee boasts that the tactical capabilities of his creation are flawless, because every movement of the Saiyans has been cataloged and countered in advance. He monitors the steady rise of the machine's internal power levels with absolute confidence. Whis stands a short distance away, his staff projecting a faint protective barrier to shield himself and Beerus from the stray energy discharges filling the chamber. Beerus cracks his knuckles, muttering that the slow pace of the battle is testing his patience, and that the Saiyans are making a simple machine look far too formidable. Whis gently reminds the deity that the unique properties of the Tuffle hatred are specifically designed to erode divine energy, meaning that Goku and Vegeta must rely on more than brute strength to secure a victory. Meanwhile, inside the Capsule Corporation bunker, Trunks successfully completes the recalibration of the auxiliary satellite terminal under the guidance of Bulma. He points to a sudden clarification in the telemetry feed, noting that the cosmic energy readings are beginning to yield actionable data regarding the asteroid's structural composition. Goten steps closer to inspect the monitor, observing that the fortress appears to rely on a centralized network of liquid plasma conduits to sustain its negative energy shield. Bulma quickly begins compiling this tactical data into a highly compressed transmission packet. Bulma explains that if they can broadcast this structural analysis directly to the divine staff, the fighters in deep space will have a clear blueprint to dismantle the stronghold. Pan offers to assist in boosting the signal strength, utilizing the facility's main generator core to pierce through the remaining atmospheric interference. Gohan approves of the plan, advising them to initiate the transmission immediately while the global environment remains stable. He maintains his defensive posture near the exit, ready to intercept any secondary disruptions. To ensure complete security during the broadcast, Gohan steps out into the open courtyard once more and transforms into his ultimate form, his clear, powerful aura acting as a localized shield against any incoming scanning frequencies. He communicates this development telepathically to Piccolo, informing the Namekian that the transmission is underway and requires absolute atmospheric stability. Piccolo acknowledges the update from his position on the lookout, maintaining his focused meditation to suppress any residual ripples within the local dimensional fabric. Back in the depths of the Dark Nebula, the crystal orb on the staff of Whis flashes with a bright white light as it successfully receives the highly compressed data packet from Earth. Whis analyzes the structural blueprint instantly, noting the vulnerabilities within the machine's energy distribution network. He relays this critical information to Goku and Vegeta, explaining that the liquid plasma conduits lining the chamber walls are the primary source of the android's regenerative capabilities. He points out that neutralizing these structures will permanently disable the machine's defense matrix. Vegeta locks his gaze onto the massive conduits embedded within the metallic walls, his expression twisting into a confident smirk as he identifies his next targets. He launches himself away from HATCHIYACK, firing a series of precise ki blasts aimed directly at the glowing red pipelines, supplying energy to the central gestation chamber. Seeing this tactical shift, Dr. Lychee panics, commanding his creation to intercept the prince before the structural integrity of the facility is compromised. The giant machine pivots rapidly, its massive frame kicking up sparks as it rushes to protect its power source. Goku intercepts the moving android, executing a powerful physical tackle that forces HATCHIYACK away from the targeted conduits. He locks his arms around the machine's torso, utilizing his divine ki to restrict its movements while Vegeta continues his systematic destruction of the auxiliary power lines. The giant machine struggles violently against the hold, its internal processors whirring at maximum capacity as the sudden loss of power triggers multiple system warnings across the chamber. Massive explosions erupt along the walls as the plasma conduits rupture one by one. Dr. Lychee screams in fury as his primary view screen flashes with critical failure indicators, his holographic form distorting wildly under the stress of the feedback. He initiates an emergency protocol, directing the remaining energy stored within the supercomputer to bypass the conduits and flow directly into HATCHIYACK. The giant machine emits a deafening mechanical roar as it absorbs the volatile energy, its central gemstone turning a deep, dark crimson color. It unleashes an explosive wave of negative ki that forcibly breaks the grip of Goku, sending the warrior skidding across the floor. Vegeta lands beside his companion, realizing that the machine's power level has escalated past standard limits due to the desperate Tuffle overload. To counter this ultimate manifestation of hatred, he decides to unleash his own absolute power, transforming into true Ultra Ego as a thick, purple aura of destruction envelops his body. He steps forward with absolute confidence, welcoming the intense pressure radiating from HATCHIYACK as a means to fuel his own combat capabilities. He asserts that no machine can withstand the pure destructive instinct of a Saiyan prince. HATCHIYACK Hatchiyak launches a devastating physical strike, aimed directly at the chest of Vegeta, the impact creating a massive shockwave that cracks the structural foundation of the core chamber. Vegeta absorbs the full force of the blow without flinching, his purple aura flaring brighter as the physical damage is instantly converted into raw power. He delivers a brutal counterpunch that smashes through the android's defensive guard, fracturing the metallic plating on its shoulder. Goku coordinates his movements with the assault, preparing his own final technique from a flanking position. Meanwhile, on Earth, Gohan senses the massive surge of destruction ki radiating from the deep cosmos, confirming that the battle has reached its final critical phase. He informs Bulma through the bunker entrance that the energy signatures are reaching their absolute peak, indicating that the enemy's primary stronghold is being dismantled. Pan monitors the terminal, noting that the global tracking network has completely lost the negative polarity signature, which means the Tuffle weapon's connection to Earth is permanently severed. Bulma breathes a sigh of relief, though she remains focused on securing the local infrastructure. Up on the sacred lookout, Dende concludes his global restoration spells, his physical stamina slowly returning as the natural ley lines of the Earth resume their peaceful vibrations. He communicates a final status report to Gohan, confirming that the spiritual resonance of the planet has returned to absolute normalcy. He expresses his gratitude to all the defenders for their unwavering vigilance during the multidimensional crisis. The young guardian sits down on the stone tiles, content that the immediate danger to his world has passed. Back inside the exploding asteroid core, Goku decides to finish the engagement by ascending to his ultimate state, calming his heart as he enters the realm of Ultra Instinct. His hair turns a brilliant silver and a fluid, ethereal aura surrounds his body as his movements become entirely dictated by divine reflex. He glides effortlessly through the desperate counterattacks of Hatchiyak, his physical form appearing as a mere blur against the dark backdrop of the crumbling fortress. The giant machine struggles to calculate his trajectory, its processors completely baffled by the absence of conscious thought. Dr. Lychee watches the systematic dismantling of his creation in absolute despair, his holographic image flickering uncontrollably as the central supercomputer begins to suffer terminal failures. He screams that the hatred of the Tuffles cannot be erased by divine trickery, desperately attempting to initiate a final self-destruction sequence to incinerate the entire asteroid core. However, Hatchiyak is unable to execute the command, as the overwhelming pressure from Vegeta keeps the machine physically pinned against the remaining structural pillars. The purple destruction key continues to dissolve the android's internal mechanisms. Vegeta delivers a final, crushing blow to the chest of Hatchiyak, shattering the outer armor plates and completely exposing the glowing crimson gemstone at its core. He steps back, creating a clear line of sight for his rival while maintaining his defensive stance to contain any residual energy explosions. Goku moves forward with divine precision, charging a concentrated Kamehameha wave within his hands that radiates a brilliant, silver light. He directs the ultimate technique straight into the exposed core of the Tuffle creation, leaving the machine with no avenue for escape. The silver energy wave pierces through the gemstone of Hatchiyak, triggering a massive chain reaction that completely disintegrates the mechanical entity from the inside out. The phantom form of Dr. Lychee dissolves into nothingness along with his creation, his final cries of vengeance swallowed by the roar of the divine explosion. Watching from the sidelines, Beerus nods in approval as the central supercomputer detonates, permanently erasing the negative energy signature from the fabric of Universe 7. The entire asteroid core begins to collapse into the surrounding dark nebula. Whis acts immediately to secure the group, tapping his staff to manifest a fresh transport bubble that encapsulates Goku and Vegeta as they revert to their standard forms. He launches the bubble upward through the collapsing ceiling of the fortress, easily outrunning the expanding debris field as the asteroid completely obliterates behind them. He guides the capsule into the upper cosmic void, steering away from the dissipating dark nebula toward the peaceful coordinates of Earth. He notes that the cosmic balance has been perfectly restored through their coordinated actions. Goku relaxes against the translucent wall of the transport bubble, rubbing the back of his neck while expressing his satisfaction with the challenging nature of the encounter. He remarks to Vegeta that the Tuffle machine provided an excellent opportunity to test their defensive adaptations under negative pressure, which will undoubtedly prove useful in their ongoing training. Vegeta crosses his arms and turns away, muttering that his rival is far too easily impressed by mere machinery. Beerus reminds them both that the primary threat of Black Frieza still looms over the universe, meaning they cannot afford to grow complacent. Back at Capsule Corporation, Bulma steps out onto the cleared balcony of the main laboratory, her handheld tracking terminal finally displaying completely stable global readings. She informs Gohan and Pan that the extragalactic energy spike has vanished entirely, confirming the total destruction of the remote asteroid core. Pan looks up at the evening sky, noting that the stars are shining clearly, without any trace of the ominous purple fractures. Gohan smiles gently, proud of the collective effort that preserved their home from the hidden shadow. Trunks and Goten assist the facility's engineering drones in clearing the remaining debris from the courtyard, ensuring the launching pad is ready for the return of the Cosmic Strike team. Piccolo stands nearby, his arms crossed as he senses the rapid approach of the divine transport bubble cutting through the upper stratosphere. He notes that the incoming energy signatures are perfectly calm, indicating that the warriors have sustained no permanent injuries during the final confrontation. The three defenders pause their work, looking upward as a streak of light descends toward the facility. The transport bubble, managed by Whis, touches down gently in the center of the restored courtyard, dissolving into sparkles of white light to reveal the returning heroes. Goku immediately waves to the gathered crowd, expressing his hunger after the intense cosmic excursion. Vegeta steps out with a stern expression, heading straight toward his family to confirm their safety without acknowledging the praises of the younger Saiyans. Beerus steps off the platform, loudly demanding that Bulma fulfill her promise of premium terrestrial cuisine to compensate for his lost midday nap. Bulma laughs at the deity's characteristic impatience, assuring Beerus that the facility's underground kitchens are already preparing a massive banquet to celebrate the victory. She turns to welcome Gohan back into the main building, noting that the technological infrastructure of Western City will require a few days of repair, but remains entirely functional. She expresses her gratitude to the group for ensuring that the catastrophic weapon never managed to breach their primary defenses. The gathered group begins to move inside the central dome. Piccolo takes his leave from the celebration, taking flight once more to return to the lookout, where Dende requires his presence to finalize the realignment of the sacred temple grounds. He arrives at the sanctuary within moments, finding the young guardian standing peacefully near the central plaza while admiring the restored celestial horizon. Piccolo reports that the threat has been thoroughly eliminated at its source, ensuring that no further remnants of the Tuffle hatred can manipulate the dimensional fabric of their world. Both Namekians reflect on the vital importance of their terrestrial vigilance. Inside the grand dining hall of Capsule Corporation, Goku finishes his initial plate of food before looking across the table at his rival, his expression turning serious as he reflects on the lessons of the battle. He notes to Vegeta that the unique negative polarity of the Tuffle attacks forced them to refine the purity of their divine transformations, providing a valuable blueprint for their upcoming training sessions. Vegeta sips his drink, acknowledging that their recent encounter was a stark reminder of the unpredictable threats lingering within the cosmos. He asserts that they must push their power levels even higher to prepare for their inevitable rematch with the ultimate universal threat. Whis observes the determined expressions of his students from the head of the table, a knowing smile playing across his features as he enjoys a delicate dessert. He reminds both Goku and Vegeta that true mastery of their respective divine states requires absolute emotional control and adaptability against unfamiliar energy structures. He notes that their successful coordination during the crisis proves they are slowly closing the gap between themselves and the ultimate heights of universal power. The protectors of Earth enjoy a brief moment of well-earned peace before returning to their relentless pursuit of strength.